and want to say good afternoon here. This is Dr. Gibson, and I just wanted to kind of provide an overview of the two chapters in the Bowersox materials, Chapter 1 and Chapter 4, of the things that I kind of want you to think about. There's a lot of information in these chapters. This book was adopted by me because it is the state-of-the-art material that's out there. And I always believe in if you're going to do something, you do it with the best of the best. So I just want to kind of provide an overview where you don't feel like you're just on an island by yourself and you're not hearing from me directly. So with that, I'm going to get started here. So on Chapter 1 talks about the integrated supply chain. And it really goes into a very detailed map of the integrated supply chain as it resides today. And as you can think about it from the supply chain, you first have your materials here on the left. Let me get my pointer out here and put it in red. So here you have materials, right? So if you're thinking about anything that it can be made, I'm going to use a bottle of water. I'm going to stick to that, a bottle of water from here throughout. But if you think about a bottle of water, the materials most likely is some type of water supply, right? And then perhaps they integrate some oxygen, different recipes, pH levels, etc. So that material comes into this supplier network and has to get to the operations piece, which is the ability for the manufacturer to manufacture and bottle the water, right? So in that particular example, you have this supplier network. So who's supplying the bottles? Who's supplying the packages? Who's supplying the water? Where are you getting it from? How are you bottling the water? Think of it from that perspective. All of those sourcing decisions is, an example of supply chain management. And then you have the logistics piece, which is how do you get the product from one point to the next, to the next, to the next throughout the supply chain. And then how do you distribute it to the end consumer? How does it get to the retailer or the wholesaler? All within this is, information, product, service, financial, and knowledge. And then capacity. Do you have enough capacity? More information, core competencies. Do you have enough capital? Do you have the trucks? Do you have the planes? Do you have the trucking or railway capacity? How are you delivering this in human resources? In essence, what this particular chart describes is it is a very complex business. We didn't learn that, right, until COVID hit. When COVID hit, the global supply chain broke. And we had a lot of noise. We couldn't get toilet paper because we were panic buying. The supply chains weren't set up to have enough toilet paper. There was times you couldn't get water. Things were being swallowed up, and then for companies to get back on track it took a long time, and there's still some hiccups out there. It's not 100%. And I want you to think about this. I will say this, that a supply chain is never 100%. You want it to be 100%, but the cost to get it to 100% is almost impossible. And there are some notable distinctions between, let's say, Amazon and Walmart, that even Amazon's not 100%. They'd like to be 100%, but there's so many things that can go wrong within the supply chain that can have a disruption to the end consumer. Let me go to the next slide. So in the material, it also gives you the definition of supply chain management, which includes the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals. There is you can join as a member, and you can get a lot of information from the council. But basically, they describe supply chain management encompasses the planning and management of all activities involved in sourcing and procurement, conversion, and all logistics management activities. Importantly, it includes all coordination and collaboration with channel partners, suppliers, intermediaries, third parties, service providers, and customers. It integrates the supply and demand across companies. When I worked for 7-Eleven, I will tell you this was before COVID. We would do, and you're talking about like a 3,000 square foot store. We would do model store, which was in essence to bring in the latest and greatest new products, best sellers, merchandise them such that the store flowed, clean, looked good. Never once in my career could we ever get 100% in stock. Not once. 2 days before we would showcase the store, it was like a show, we would have to go shopping. We didn't care where we went. We found the product. And if we couldn't find that product, then we would find another product to submit it. So in essence, it was by the SKU level, the individual item level. So let's say we were out of Energizer C20, I think is battery or something. If we couldn't get it from our supplier, McLean, we'd go out and buy it just for that event. So I would say in our supply chain was pretty sophisticated. 7-Eleven has a very sophisticated supply chain. They're sourced from McLean, PepsiCo, their own distribution center, which is called a CDC, Coca-Cola, 7-Up. I mean, it was probably 98.5 is the best that I could see on a good day. Average about 90, to be honest with you, 92. And that's just an average operation of just that small box, right? If you think about bigger boxes, it gets even more complex. So let's go with this bottle of water scenario, right? So I just kind of want to, get your mind thinking about the 5 modes of transportation, distribution, and warehousing, and how important that is. So if we take this bottle of water and I say, okay, we're going to, the ingredients coming from a spring someplace, right? How are we getting it to bottling and manufacturing? Think about that. There are 5 modes of transportation. This is predominantly the most popular. Pipeline is the cheapest. I'm not sure if there's a pipeline for water, but I know that that's gasoline, which I kind of described in my introduction video. But then you would go ship, or intermodal, or the ship goes to the port unloads the containers, the truck picks them up, right? You have rail. I know I'm from Chicago, so they have one of the biggest rail yards in the world. It's tremendous. It's huge. I don't know if you've ever flown into Midway, but you can see it from Midway Airport. And you have cargo planes. These things can carry things across transnational, but there's a big cost between that and ship, right? So as a supply chain manager, you're looking to make sure you get the product there on time, but you also want to get it there at a minimized cost. So let me go to maybe a blue pointer here, and hopefully this works out. My drawing can sometimes be a little vague. Come on. So let's say, for example, the spring costs you 5 cents. And I'm going high there, actually. And then between whatever mode of transportation, the cheapest, and where your spring is and where you're going to bottle, let's just say this is 3 cents. Okay, then you're going to bottle. You have state-of-the-art technology, costs you a penny with all the throughput. You're sharing it with somebody. You found a place, right? So then you have to transport it by truck. Most likely now, let's say this is 2 cents. All right. And then it goes to distributor who sorts and rotates it depending on where you want to go. Let's say this is another 2.5. All right. And then if it goes to a retailer, let's say you have your own distribution like Walmart, so you're at a 2, you're state of the art. Right. Let's say if it's going to Sam's Club, which is a wholesaler, you're also at a 2. You own your own assets as Walmart, right? If you add these up, 5 cents plus 3 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and a half, 14, 15 and a half cents, right? 15.5 cents. How much do you pay for a bottle of water? Typically, what, 99 in this case? That's pretty good profit margin if you think about it, right? The idea behind supply chain management is throughout this whole process, you are making sure that you are getting the product to the customer on time, every time, that you're not out of stock because that costs you money, and you're getting this product to the customer at the most minimized cost that supports their expectations. On top of that, as technology has become so great, let me switch my pointer now. This has become the name of the game, omnichannel. And this is where all the channels come together. So it's integrated promotion, integrated process, integrated information, integrated product, integrated price. So let me provide you an example of one of a non-integrated and an integrated. A non-integrated would be you order the product from their website, take it to the store, and they can't return it. So they want you to go to UPS. Well, that wouldn't be integrated. Let's, for example, Kohl's delivered something to me, and then it was a different price, so I wanted to return it. I couldn't return it at Kohl's for some reason. I had to send it by UPS. That would be something that's not seamless to the customer. So omnichannel creates this complexity within here, within this whole box right here. I mean, it literally creates complexity everywhere, but here in particular. Because if you think about different suppliers trying to get it to buy online, pick up in store, buy online, third-party delivery, buy online delivery, I want to order directly from this bottle of water. Let's say it's Evian. Can I go to Evian.com and just have it delivered to me? Most likely not. I'm not sure of that answer today, but those are the things that omnichannel is providing, because today, we as consumers, we want it now, right? Who drove that? Amazon. Amazon is a pure omnichannel player. They're the only ones today. Others are trying to catch up. So we as customers are demanding and discerning, and we want this product now. This is very difficult for these omnichannels to catch up with. But everybody's trying it. You got Walmart, you got Target, the grocery stores are doing it. In fact, grocery stores have spent a lot of money on technology, and that customers are starting to return to the store after COVID. So now it's like, what do they do, right? So the other thing that's really hot today is this last mile delivery. And this is, how does the customer get the product? So this last mile delivery is becoming a focus. So for example, if you've shopped with Walmart, I have Walmart, it's not Prime, Walmart Plus. I literally had them deliver me 1 bottle of olive oil for $11. I'm thinking, well, they didn't make any money on that. They couldn't have. Because the margin, I bet 30%, I'm giving that to them, 30, 40%. That's $5. By the time they charge the employee to bring it to me, which is probably half hour, from the store, and the gas, it's beyond $5 of gross profit. But see, the focus is on the consumer, and the focus is on this omnichannel, and the focus is on we got to catch Amazon. And so Amazon can do it. They can do same day. Why can't we? And I surmise that technology is going to get better. So let me go to the next slide. When you think about 3 levels of customer service, and as I described in a 7-Eleven, when we had the model store, we literally had to go out and buy things to fill the 10, 20 so out of stocks that we had. What customer service level do you want to be at? And this is in the book, but I just kind of want to bring chapter 4 to really a focus. What kind of customer level do you want to operate in? Do you just want to have great customer service here, level 1? And what's that cost going to be? Do you want to have great customer satisfaction? Or do you want to have customer success? Okay. What I just described to you, Walmart Plus, there's where they want to be. They're trying to get there. I would say this one right here, level 1, customers aren't happy with that today. We're not going to accept that. Why? We can go to a competitor. The competitor has a better supply chain, right? So when you think of zero defect performance measurement, in the supply chain, everything is measured. From the time the product is material, you get the materials, is it complete, is it on time, is it in good condition, to the time that you transport it to the manufacturer, the manufacturing process, to the time that you get it from the manufacturer to the distributor, the warehouse process, the sorting and rotation of the products to the time you get it down to the customer. What is the probability of that order being perfect? And what are the resources needed to achieve a zero defect level? And as I said, 0 is almost impossible. So in chapter 4, what I really want you to think about is that complexity of how achieving a zero defect performance, which is everybody's measure, is the ultimate goal. But measuring that and what type of performance that you're going to accept, the performance degradation in terms of, are you going to dissatisfy your customer, is something that you need to think about strategically. So go to the next slide here. So in conclusion, I just want to kind of call your attention to, what are the hot spots? What are the hot topics in supply chain today? And I'll tell you one, omnichannel, extremely difficult to achieve. All companies are working towards this. And this is the integrated price, integrated promotion. So if I go to Target, I'm not going to get a different price in the Target versus when I order online. It's all seamless. They all talk to each other. The last mile delivery and our customer expectations. Hey, the cost is rising. The cost of diesel is up. The cost of everything is up. The pandemic created this cost inflation. We have to get products overseas. We were somewhat reliable on overseas. Companies are now trying to do what's called nearshoring, getting the stuff back into the U.S. because they learned that they can't depend on the outside. Warehouses are smarter. You have robots and retail stores. You have self-driven cars, self-driven trucks. Technology is a differentiator today. The more technologically sound, the better. And the reliance on the technology. Some people say, technology is going to replace jobs. It's not going to replace jobs. It's going to make things smarter so that you have somebody that oversees it. So in essence, it's a differentiator. And last but not least, especially in the U.S., we have aging infrastructures, congested roads, we have congested airports, we have congested ports that connect from the waterway. How do we upgrade our infrastructure? What are we doing to help improve this minimized cost, for the supply chain? Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, you, as supply chain managers, are in charge of making sure that that cost is minimized, but the service is almost zero tolerance. So I hope that this kind of provides a foundation for you to think about what supply chain is from a global perspective, and what you're going to be thinking about throughout the rest of this course. So thank you. Have a great day. This concludes Module 2.